Okay. So Stu, and then I'm gonna toss it to Tyrone, and then I'm gonna bring it back to Melissa. Stu, I know we've been talking a little bit about homes, and we know that some of the root cause may stem from the home and their environments. Like if there was an old saying, and I'm probably mess it up, but maybe Melissa may know. When they say when a child messes up in school, or when a child is doing something out in the public or in the community, follow that child home, and then you'll understand why this child is out doing what they're doing. I used to be a outreach counselor. I've worked at the Buckeye Ranch. I've worked at Hannah Neal, Star. So I've worked with a lot of at-risk youth. As a youth counselor, I had to go to the schools. I had to go to the doctor's appointments. I had to talk to the parents. I had to be inside the homes. I was everywhere. Anything and everything that child was a part of, I was a part of. So I was able to touch every single person from the school to their homes to the courts. I was, the doctors. I was a part of all that. So my thing is, how do we get inside the homes? And I was able to make a difference once I got inside the home. How do we do that? How do we reach the homes if they're not a part of a facility or something like that? Like, how do we reach them?
I found through just observing and just watching when we engaging on Mondays out in Linden, I find kids teaching their moms and their parents.
Mm.
Um, I find that we give information to kids whose parents aren't there, but their kids go and they educate their parents and they bring them back to us to where they become interested.
Oh, so we can get the parents to the kids.
You what I mean by that, Jody, is that a lot of times you'll have at events, we have programs, events. We can have a lot of things to where we tell the kids trick or treat, trick or trunk, whatever it may be. We recommend, we always recommend, we don't require, but we recommend that you bring your parents with you. It's a slim chance that happens. But what happens is that when you have a kid that comes back home and they tell you the importance of what that event was, the importance of what the resources is that's going on there, you find that kid is educating that guardian, that parent, to where now they become wanting to invest in whatever that kid is doing now. And now they want to come and participate because now it's starting, it clings to where it can help the household. So you have to find a way to where it can be an intelligent conversation to where the kid can go and share it with their parents. Because that's what we find. And now a lot of parents, just look into the nature of the world now, a lot of parents of today, where the kids are suffering, where the 14-year-olds are running out on their moms. A lot of them didn't get that education. A lot of them are struggling and still probably trying to get their GEDs or whatever. Probably don't know how to read or write. If we want to be real, a lot of these parents skip these classes to where they just want to fake the funk until they make, faking until they make it. But you find intelligent kids now. You have a generation of smart kids, and I just go back to where kids have a discerned mindset. And they know how to go and adapt to where you have kids that know how to go and just pretty much have a conversation with their mom to where it's educating their mom. Mom, did you know this? Well, hey, let me share this with you. And then now you just find their mom educating them. So when you bring information or material to a kid where their parent ain't there and their mom's going and that kid runs back home, either with that food box or that resource, hey, mom, guess what you missed? Well, let me tell you the importance of this that you missed. Then that's when you find out that the script flips to where the parent wanted to be nosy and find out, okay, now what is really going on? And then once you get them to be nosy, that's all you need. Hey, once I get you to be nosy, I got you. And that's all I need. I just need you to be wanting to be attentive. And once we get that household to be attentive and understanding to the resources and to how the value of life is, then that's when you'll see the interchange of things in your community change. But you have to find that, what is that root? What is the origin of that person who the household listens to or who it comes to and connects and learns from? and then you give that information to them, because 9 times out of 10, that's how it gets spread around, is from the listening ears of that person that asks the questions and then gives it back to you. You remember how it was when we was kids? We will always challenge our parents. Mom, did you know, especially when we found something out, did you know that George Washington Carver made peanut butter?
Yeah.
You know, we was excited to know stuff like that. Like, you know, it was just stuff that we know, you know, it was just stuff that we ran, and then your mom may not knew it, but they did know it, and then
we reached the guardians through the kids.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. That's how you do it.
Okay. So I have a this is a different question, because I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon, because I done had you guys a long time giving all this great information to the world. I want to touch on, because this is really big in our community, huge in our community, the no snitch code. How harmful is this no snitch code on our community? And I'm first going to ask Tyrone, and then I'm going to take it to Malissa. Tyrone, are you still there? Did he fall asleep? Tyrone?
No, I don't think he's asleep. I think he's frozen.
Yeah, his screen froze.
Oh, yeah, okay, froze. Tyrone, you might have to leave and come back. Uh-oh. Yeah, because he hasn't moved. Okay, well, I'm gonna go to Malissa. Malissa, how harmful is this no snitch code in our community?
Well, it is. No snitching code has been around for generations, as we know. Yes. However,
should we explain what the no snitch is for the ones that don't know what this means?
Well, no snitching is a code of ethics in your community, where if something goes down, you were a part of it, or you know about it, and you get caught, you don't say anything, right? Even if that means that you have to do an immense amount of time. There are people doing life in prison off of the no snitching code. In the building that I teach in, and I won't reveal the building that I teach in because I haven't gotten permission to be in my teacher form. I am here as an advocate, but in the building that I teach in, that is a big issue. And it's because of the neighborhood that they are in. That is the mantra of their families, their uncles, their brothers, their mothers, their sisters. I don't want to try to seem biased that criminal activity is a male activity, right? But what we try to do, you know, in my personal life, as well as in my teacher world, we try to live by the national mantra. You see something, you say something. But I go a little bit deeper. I try to explain, when you allow somebody to place the no snitching code into your spirit, it is a form of power over you. It is
I'm here, Jodi. No, I didn't fall asleep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes. Wait a minute. Oh, what are you doing?
I done did that a couple of times. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we all can. Everyone hear him?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
But, okay, Melissa was talking about the no.
Maybe he has a lag. Maybe that's what it is. He could have a lag.
Okay.
But my train of thought. Oh, so it is. I tried to explain. You know how, especially our 13-year-olds to 25-year-olds, that they wouldn't tell me what to do. Ain't nobody got control over me. You know, you hear that. You better quit talking to me. You know, I get that a lot. You better quit talking to me. You know, and I
you, Melissa.
Yeah, girl, they try it. They try it. Try it. So, but the more in the serious note about it is, it has become such as it's been saturated in their spirit, and it has paralyzed people into fear, because now, just like the gentleman that was on earlier said, if I say something, I legitimately now am fearing for my life if I say something, right? So there has to be and I honestly don't have the answer right now. I want to have a deeper dive into this, because it is so important. we had a wonderful training with some homicide detectives.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that they say in that homicide training, you mothers want justice and we want to give you justice. But when we don't know anything, when we don't have any information, we can't do anything. But guess who has the information? The community has the information.
The streets talk. Go ahead.
We have to normalize. We have to normalize it being, first of all, try to deprogram the no snitching code, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that comes in early education. And it means consistent saturation in that. But another thing we have to do is we have to provide, and we can't do it. Well, maybe we can. But there has to be a guaranteed safe place, safe arena that people can come and say what they know and have zero repercussions from what they saying what they know. And also, I mean, shoot, the gangsters had it. What the John Gotti with and all them? They had, what was it? Witness protection, right? I mean, I'm being funny when I say it, but I mean something has to be offered to these people who know things, because I'm not. If I knew that it was going to be me saying something or my grandmother getting killed, I'm not saying anything. I'm going to get quiet. I'm going to stay quiet. If it's going to be me accidentally knowing this information, I don't even want to know this information, and it's going to be me or my baby get killed, I'm not saying nothing. So that is the parallel. Where do we go when it's really killed or be killed over information? That's a dangerous tread. I don't have an answer for that. I don't.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak on the no snitch? Stu, do you have anything to say about the no snitch?
Tony. Oh, there I go. I was trying to get my phone on mute.
We hear you.
No, I'm just pretty much writing off of what Melissa said. You right. I mean, it goes as far as to where you just have to be careful. When we was growing up, this no snitch was, and you didn't really have to be a part of it if you just saw it, and you just knew not to say anything. And that's where we are now with these young kids, is even with these circles that they're in, you just don't say nothing. You say something, then hey, they don't know who it is because they know that you was around. So you just got to be careful. The no snitch is a little serious than how it was when we was. You might get your tail kicked or whatever, but now you see that the no snitch is a little bit more serious with these kids. Now you snitching and you here today and gone tomorrow. So it's just a different level.
So how do we protect the kids? Like, I mean, we want them to talk, but how do we protect them? Go ahead, Rob.
So yeah, again, the whole no snitching thing was the parallel for if you was in that realm, in that field, you're selling drugs, you're robbing, stealing, whatever. Then if you doing a crime with me, and yeah, you may have been the one that did the crime, but then I'm the one that got caught, because again, guilty by association. So if you don't want to be that one to be put in that box and be the one in that interrogation room, then you might want to get out of it, because then you are faced with that parallel. You might have a baby on the way. You might have just had a baby. You might just be a baby yourself and you ain't lived yet, ain't got no offspring or nothing. But however, you running with the wrong people, so now you put in that box. So then, again, are you going to fall in that, or are you about to serve this time for somebody else's crime? But this is your boy, this is your homeboy, your brother, and now you ain't getting no commissary on your books. This person that you ride or die for, but again, you governed by this code. But then again, they not taking care of you while you in there. Okay, so if you want to be faced with this and have to worrying about being in that realm, then again, this is the code that you signed up for. So if you're gonna be in this realm, trust and believe this is your code. This is your contract per se. Okay, if you're gonna be in that realm of the code. So they say live by the code, die by the code. You're gonna serve and you're gonna be in jail by this code and be stuck with it, because this is the life that you choosing. These kids have to want to do different. If you want to be in this realm, you want to be a gangster, you want to be all the people that you see, then this is what you're gonna have. This is gonna be what you have to live by. I myself, I didn't want to go in that realm.
Do you think the hip hop culture, hip hop music, do y'all think it may have a influence or impact on the decisions that our young people are doing out here with these with the violence and the killings and the shootings and all this? How does hip hop have something to do with it?
I think music in general has the power because if you listen to the gospel music, it puts you in a different mindset. Yes, okay. Yes. If you listening to, I don't know, I make it a joke, but I say slit your wrist music, all this music, and then these women that really be in your feelings and they really be wanting to make you get a bottle of wine and sometimes just cry. You know what I mean? I just say that funny. Please, I don't want nobody saying I want nobody to slit their wrist or anything like that. But it puts you in a different mood and mindset. But again, these artists are, they talking about their pain. They talk about things they live through. But again, maybe they need to go on the platform and say, now I'm not telling you to live like this. I'm telling you not to live like this. But these babies are going to go through situations in life. We just have to be there to talk them through these things and let them know you don't want this. I don't want to see you in this room. I don't want to see you in a box or a cell. Okay. I want to see you serving and working, providing for your families, or just living life. You know what I mean? Some people don't want kids. Hey, live life, travel the world, see all the 50 states or however many more they add. You know what I mean? Hey, do it. But let's do it right. Let's live right and just, and man, I can't really stress it enough. But yes, to your question, the music, I think all music, it's not just hip hop, has that power.
Have you guys seen this trend of like the young people showing all their money and money to their ears? Have y'all noticed that a lot of these shootings and killings has been robberies?
Yeah.
But back in our day, I don't know how old everyone is. I know how old Ralph is now. But back Biggie had this song called the 10 Crack Commandments. And Biggie told, if you're going to be in the streets, this is how you do the streets. This is what you do. These young kids are doing everything that Biggie told them not to do. And they're being robbed. I don't promote being in the streets and doing that type of stuff, but there's no code, there's no structure. Like back in our days, there was a code, there were structures. You didn't shoot kids, you didn't shoot women, you didn't shoot elderly, you didn't do that. You didn't shoot innocent people.
It was off limits. Yeah,
now,
even Jay-Z said, don't die of a block that your mama rented.
So how do we go up against these music? Because I worked at BET, MTV, Hot 97, Def Jam, and I worked in all these places. And most of the ones that was rapping this stuff, they weren't living it. But they was making that music, but they weren't living that lifestyle anymore. Because as soon as they get that check, they're out, and they try to put their babies through college, and they're trying to, do this for the kids and things like that.
Yeah, it was a thing on social media about Jeezy, because he talked about trapping this, trapping that, trapping that, but then his son just graduated from college. It was a thing with that.
Megan Thee Stallion, she's in college. Cardi B, they just got mad at Cardi B, the rapper, because she was listening to her own rap music, and as soon as her baby hit the corner, Cardi turned the music down. And she was like, no. So then her fans that was watching got an attitude with her, like, how you gonna turn off your own music for your kid? And Cardi had to break it down to him, like, oh, wait a minute, guys. I make music for adults. I don't make music for kids. So it's like, but those type of messages aren't being sent out to these young people. They're out here stealing, killing, drug dealing, having, sex, dropping it like it's hot, doing all these challenges and all this stuff. But the people that's making all these music and doing all this stuff, they're not even doing it. And one other thing I wanted to touch. I'm sorry, I went off on a little tangent because I love this entertainment thing. I love entertainment. I love radio. I love television. I love all that. But I just could not get with the messages. I said, we're setting our babies back 100 years with this type of stuff. So I don't know how to, what to do except for make videos and put, build awareness like what we're doing now to try to get the messages out to the people like, hey, and like Snoop Dogg, he had a long relationship from high school. Ice Cube's relationship goes all the way back to his wife, was all the way back to high school. LL Cool J, like they all were like had relationships and things. So how do we get the right messages to these kids? Because they're getting bad information.
Well,
Anybody?
Everybody has to just kind of, the cohort of organizers that I have aligned myself with, two of them being right here, Ralph Carter with We Are Linden, Stu Hampton with community. I always get it wrong, and I write Linden Community Engagement Resource Team.
Yeah.
But it's consistent rebrand messaging to counter what they're getting on a consistent basis. And you do it however necessary. Social media, use your social media in a way in which messaging that counters what they're being poisoned with can feed their souls. You've got to live what you preach. So I can't by right be the founder and leader of an organization, but then in my personal life, live a totally, completely different life. You have to make sure that every ounce, whether it's a one-on-one with a mother, a one-on-one with a child, one-on-one with somebody in your neighborhood, or as a group message or a big platform on a television show, you've got to make sure you stay authentic to your mission and your message. And I have a large platform just being an educator. I get to see 500 kids in the brick and mortar, 500 kids a day, 500 kids a day. Why would I waste that opportunity not to mentor as many as I possibly can? And I've done that for 24 years. If you come into three of my board members are former students of mine. It says something about the testament of a teacher. And I pride myself on building authentic relationships with my students that last forever. I could have been Ralph's teacher. I've got kids who are students who are 35 years old now, and they come back and the one thing they ask, do you remember me? And many times I can run down exactly who they are, but that comes from those authentic relationships. So what my point is, wherever you are in life, you have an opportunity to tap into somebody, no matter their age group, to rebrand a message that's poisoning our children. And it just has to be consistent, and it has to be authentic, and it has to be something that they gravitate to. Because you never know. It might seem like they're not listening to you right now, but you planted a seed, and it's going to be watered, and you continue to water it, and it's going to grow. And you're going to have a gentleman that was sitting like next to Sean and Ephraim, and all of a sudden you get to see this beautiful product of your consistent watering, and you've now got a beautiful plant that came from the concrete jungle. It can happen. It can happen.
Okay.